Hey guys, how do we know if our kids are actually learning anything? Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Darin Nakakihara and I am a 4th grade teacher in Southern California. This channel's all about the art of teaching. So if that's something that you're super passionate about, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit the little bell. So today is Wednesday, and for those of you that have been with me for a while, you know that Wednesdays in my school district are early out days. So we have a minimum day. The kids get out about an hour and 20 minutes earlier than they normally would have. And then it gives us a chance as a school or grade team to get together and do a little more planning and meeting. So today we have this truncated schedule because we have early out day, and then we also do RTI. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about RTI. So RTI in our school district is kind of like this dying thing, but I really feel like it is an effective way to reach our kids. The argument is that these kids get stuck in these groups and they never go anywhere, but it's, you know, it's probably the most effective way to differentiate in a classroom. So let me tell you a little bit about what we've been doing this year, because I've never seen a more effective use of RTI than what my grade team this year has done. It's been incredible. So there's just 3 of us. I think the key is my next door neighbor here. She came from 1st grade, so she's like grounded in the foundations of reading. Like, she knows how to teach a kid how to read. She took that group that needs help in that area, and like, it has been so effective. Anyways, so today we've kind of taken a break because we've had so many interruptions over the last few weeks, but we are ramping it up again today, and so we're starting out, and what we did was we shrank her class to like the bare bones. Bare bones. The most neediest kids are going to be in there, and it ballooned the other 2 classes to 40 and 42 kids, but I really feel like if we can help these kids in her that we're sending over to her, like, it is going to make the biggest difference. The biggest difference. We're going to change some lives, man. Change some lives. So today we have RTI. I've got to pull together a little lesson. I've got about 17 minutes, guys. So about 17 minutes I got to pull together a lesson for my RTI class because I have to go out to duty and do parking lot duty. Do you guys have parking lot duty? Holy cow, that is the worst thing about teaching. The worst thing about teaching is having to do an extra duty. I say it all the time. If all we had to do was teach, this job would be easy. So this is one of my favorite times of the year. We get to teach fractions, and I just love fractions. I don't know why, guys. So our book obviously is very traditional. It's called Go Math, and it starts out with fractional equivalence and moves into comparing and then adding, subtracting, and then finishes up with multiplying. And my former student teacher, Devin Zanger, she's like, hey, we started just following this book right here. And it's a book that I've used ever since I started teaching. It's called Extending Children's Mathematics. It's by Epson and Levi, Susan Epson and Linda Levi. And it's about how to more effectively teach our kids how to understand fractions. And so in this book, it rolls out fractions beginning with multiplication, equal grouping, and then works its way towards fractional equivalence. And she's like, we started doing this at my school and it made such a huge difference. So we tried it last year, and man, it works so good. This year I have a new team, and I'm like, hey, just so you know, I was trying to stay with them during this the beginning of the year, but I'm like, okay, we're coming up to fractions. I just want you to know that I'm gonna go to this book right here, and I'm gonna start with chapter 8, and then go back to 6, and then move to 7. And they're like, okay. So they're not with me. We kind of split off at that point. I finished chapter 8 multiplying, moved into chapter 6 last week, and so I'm working on fractional equivalence right now. And it is amazing how much better they understand equivalence having gone through the other chapter before. It's a really good thing. So if you have not started fractions, I highly recommend you begin with multiplying and then move back to fractional equivalence and then into addition and subtraction. Okay, that is my tip for the day. So the first thing that's probably really key to me understanding who's getting what is the little formative assessments that I give these kids. So yesterday I gave them this. I want you to see it, so let me switch over to my laptop right now. You can see exactly what I'm using for my little exit ticket formative assessments to discover exactly who knows what. Okay, so I use these little exit tickets, these little formative assessments, to understand where my kids are exactly on their progression towards mastery of a standard. I wanted them to write 2 fractions that are equivalent to 3/4, and then I wanted them to draw visual fraction models for all of the fractions that they created. And I use these numbers up top to help me understand, are they really at the very beginning of their understanding? Are they making progress towards their mastery of the standard? Are they proficient? Have they gained a good solid understanding of this standard? Or are they advanced? Do they really know this standard inside and out? All right, so without showing any of their names and stuff, you can see that the first attempt here at this standard went pretty good. I have a lot of 3s, a lot of green in there, right? But it's these 1s and 2s that I need to move along. The 2s were pretty close. The 1s I'm going to need to sit down in a small group today. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 1s from this initial assessment. So this formative assessment really helped me identify exactly who I needed to sit down and help a little bit more. So one thing, when I first rolled out, I unpacked this this math standard and the 6th chapter of Go Math. I always try to teach it relating it back to the identity property of multiplication. And the identity property of multiplication, as you know, is any number times 1 gives you a number with the same value. And I always present it that way from the beginning of the year, because when we get to fractions, I want them to know that, 2/3 has the same value as 4/6. Has the same value, right? It's not the same number, because that's how we normally teach the identity property. But if at the beginning of the year you really hammered in their head that it's a number that has the same value, then it really makes a difference for these kids. And they're like, oh, okay, I'm getting it. It has the same value. It looks like a different number, but really we're just splitting, the whole into different size pieces. And so the understanding, like the level of understanding, like the light bulbs were going off. They're like, you hear, whenever teachers, am I right? Whenever you hear the, oh, that's when you're like, I got them. It makes you feel like a really good teacher. And so the other day I felt like a really good teacher. And doing what I'm doing here with these standards and these little formative assessments, it's really like, it gives you so much insight into your kids and tells you like exactly where they're at. So I got a lot of these little things. If you're interested in seeing some of them, or you're a fourth grade teacher, or if you're not a fourth grade teacher, like I can help you make these things. Just let me know if you want to see something like that, all right? All right, teachers, don't forget to check out these videos and hit that subscribe button.